Hello everybody, today we're going to be reviewing Ben 10. I was feeling sick one day, and I thought it was a good reason to watch some YouTube. Which is probably better to just go to sleep, but I did the best thing I thought was possible. And I started watching YouTube, and I came across a video about Ben 10. I was thinking, it's a kid's show, why should I watch it? And I was like, I have nothing else to lose? Why fucking not, right? So I started watching it, and I want to give some of my thoughts on it. So, it's about a boy named Ben, of course it's Ben, who encounters an Omnitrix, which is like that really cool ass watch that allows him to turn into 10 different monsters. Ben is pretty self-centered. He only cares about himself, he doesn't give a shit about others. The only thing he cares about is himself and using that cool watch, most of the time. Sometimes he would take responsibility and help others, but most of the time, he's irresponsible with that watch. Like, he uses those powers, like, mindlessly. And it kind of makes sense for his character because he's a kid. And it kind of works as an excuse because as a kid, you don't really know any better. All you want is just to have fun. You don't think things through. You just want to do whatever you want to do. It's because of his irrational and dangerous thinking, he gets into many dangerous situations. Which, in my opinion, is why, like, Ben shouldn't have a watch in the first place, because he can't be responsible with it most of the time. But what makes him a good character is he's charismatic. I mean, in episode 7, Ben meets Kevin, teenager, who has absorbing powers. They were working together at first. But one thing that Kevin says is they want to crash the subway trains. They want to crash those together, which is really dangerous. Like, this could easily kill a lot of people. One of the subway carts have innocent people, and the other has lots of loot. Kevin was hoping to steal from the loot one by crashing the two carts together so it would be easier to get away. But Ben stands up for himself and says we can't do that because there's lots of innocent people, and he fights back against that, and that's what I appreciate. Like, it shows that Ben can take responsibility and can care for others even if he's a kid. And he protected everyone else, and that's really cool. It makes sense. As a kid, you don't really respect authority figures. Like, he doesn't give a shit about authority figures. Like, in episode 6, when he was explicitly told by the mirror to not fucking take photos or move the rubber thing at all, he did it anyway. And that caused problems, because there's like these little electrical aliens sort of things that can recreate themselves and just break everything apart that has electricity, and they think it's funny and shit. One thing that he does is he ruins everything without thinking about the consequences it can cause, and I feel like that really pisses me off about him, but at the same time it makes him a good character because he's flawed. And I feel like this is a great representation of a kid, because that's how kids would act. A kid would see some shit and be like, oh wow, let's try it out, doesn't matter, I'm not gonna think or anything, I'm just gonna do it. Why not? Like, I'll get consequences later anyway. Like, even like the grandpa would defend him, or like sometimes he would get him in trouble, but there's no beatings, bro. Like, you would expect he would get beat.
Why weren't you at school, son?
I was just enjoying my croissant.
Not again. Sorry, son, I will never hit you again. Have mercy on me.
I have the power now.
So they can straighten it up. There's Gwen. She tries to keep Ben in check, but fails miserably. And she's really preachy too. Like, god damn, she's preachy all the time. Like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. You know, this could have happened. And like, bruh, we know. Fucking know, okay? If you ever feel useless, think of the character Gwen, because she basically does barely anything. Sure, she has some fight scenes, but mostly she just get caught, so like Ben can save her. It's really like, maybe she's important more in the later in the story, but for now she's the most worthless character ever. Like, honestly, I don't get why she's in the show. For now, at least. Maybe she's better in the second season. She is entertaining with their bickering and stuff, but that's really it. You rarely even see the kind of stupid stuff. Like, they have a good dynamic. Max, the grandpa, he's knowledgeable about aliens, he's fought them. And he's kind of mysterious. Like, at first, I didn't even know he was an alien fighter. Like, I mean, I kind of guessed he was kind of because he kept hiding a lot of stuff. There was a lot of different hints in the show that you can tell he's kind of an alien fighter. I mean, it's a kid's show, so it's pretty easy to tell either way. But eventually, it kind of got revealed. And he kicks ass. And he tries to protect Ben sometimes. Like, he's good at fighting aliens. He is a little out of shape. Each their fucking own. Let's talk about the good. The characters are flawed. That makes them interesting. Like, I like Ben in like many ways, but I also hate him for certain stupid shenanigans he causes. Animation, it's pretty fire. It's pretty good. Like, I was surprised how good the animation really was. And the villains are pretty interesting. I really like the, I don't know, I don't remember his name. I should have wrote that down. But the main villain is really interesting. Like, we got to see a fight scene at the end, and we got to see him coming after Ben, and it's always the most interesting. I want to know more about him, and I like these type of villains because you mostly see the most empathetic villains. Oh, like, you know, I didn't mean to, like, destroy the earth and freaking kill everybody, and I'm so sorry. And, oh yeah, everything is forgiven, you know. You killed lots of people, but you're forgiven. Naruto. I have to say, the villain is pretty interesting, and I like these type of villains where you don't even really have to, like, empathize with them. You just see them, oh, bad guy, interesting. And it's entertaining too. Like, the fights are pretty okay, and I like them, and they give a lot of entertainment for me. Like, I was surprised. This is meant for 7-year-olds, and I'm entertained by the fights, and I'm kind of scared now. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be growing down in age soon.
Yeah, boy.
Son, what are you doing?
Nothing much.
Okay, son, see you at 6 for dinner.
Finally, I can go back to watching some quality content.
2 seconds later.
Here.
Hey, son, do you know how to peel a banana?
It's not what it looks like.
What does it look like, son?
Let me explain.
Time to get the biggest beating of your life.
3, 2, 1, go!
Because of this. So let's talk about the bad. I find that Cousin kind of useless in the story. Like, I know, like, she doesn't have to have fighting powers, but she used to do something. Like, she always just gets caught, and I feel like that's kind of boring. I don't know what she can really do, but I mean, she used to do something, you know? I have no fucking clue, but something needs to be done with her character. One thing I don't get, like, it's a small thing. I don't get how the mini monster can rip apart wires, like when the aliens came after him. But when he gets trapped by some guy that wants to sell him off to, like, private alien collector club or something, he can't fight back. I'm pretty sure the monster should have a little bit of strength. Why doesn't he try to fight back instead of just trying to run away just because he's little? Okay, so let's talk about Ugly. Like, at the beginning of the story, the grandpa just allows him to use the powers as much as he wants. Stuff like that. He doesn't really tell Ben, maybe we shouldn't use those powers because they could cause a dangerous situation, right? Like, what if those powers take over him? Or let's say the powers can cause damage to his body, right? We don't know about that. But the grandpa just allows him to be like, oh, what the fuck? Just go whatever you want, right? Or, like, sucks his life force away. Like, I don't know. What if the powers suck him off, you know? Wait. That was weird. I mean, let's just keep moving on. Like, what if something happens to him while using those powers? So I feel like that needs to be explained why in the beginning the grandpa just allowed him to use it. Like, any, like, mature parent or grandfather would be like, maybe you shouldn't use those powers because they can cause problems. And one thing that we already know is when you use the Omnitrix, it kind of pings signals, which allows the alien, like, spaceship to catch on to him, you know, and come after him. Like, I feel like if the grandpa was responsible, he would tell him, hey, maybe you shouldn't use those powers. And then it could be explored why he should use those powers. And then he uses to save people. And maybe grandpa sees, like, maybe it is used for good, you know? But he doesn't really think that way. He just allows him to use it right away. And I feel like that would have been a lot better if they made it without doing that. Overall, I have to give the show a 7 out of 10. It's a good show, but definitely like it's dragged down by some problems. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my review.